Not even go to. It should just. It doesn't need to go to black at the end. It just needs to end, and then I should have another slate that basically says, "Hey, we're going into After Dark. Language is about to go all sorts of wacky. Not suitable for children."
Speaking in tongues? Like, what's going on now?
Well, not suitable for children. No, basically, you have a mouth like a truck driver. Is what.
Don't.
That, in fact, that's what the slate will say. Is.
You called my mouth fat?
Yes. That a bad?
Also, keep your feet off of my step stool.
Yeah, I was doing this a lot.
Oh, it's so annoying. I hate it. Yeah. I hate that feeling. I hate it.
This
and
one?
like every time you like stepped.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind the closeness. It's the physical like. Yeah. I hate that feeling on my feet.
Like this, so hard.
Both deserve that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
Chris Radcliffe said that he already got his prize, so that's super awesome. And
I
Challenge
like
coin
Did you guys
is
like
heavy
the prize?
and pretty.
Do you guys like the prize thing? Should we do that every week, regardless of the guest?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got have stuff to give away.
Well, I mean, I've got. Hang on, I'll just walk this way.
You
Also,
have, like,
we need
5 mugs left.
Well, no, we've got 1, 2. I mean,
snack time.
Hang on, we got. Actually, we have some stuff that's not in the show.
No, not snack time yet. We have to do an open. Where are you going?
Yeah.
What is happening right now?
No eating
That's
food.
right.
What
we do have
are
to
you doing? He's wholly ignoring me, by the way.
Me? Yeah.
Yes! And I know you can hear me. Exactly.
Put this over here so we can do an open really quick. We'll bring Dave back on, and then I'll show you all the swag we've got. All right. What are we doing here? What was your favorite story?
No idea.
Jared, what was your favorite story?
Cassini in the rings.
Cassini in the rings.
Juno reaches for Jupiter. Does that sound decent?
Sure.
Juno surfs over Jupiter?
Yeah.
Cassini looks at Saturn's rings.
Sure.
And then you want to do the little, Ben has an interview with Dave. That work?
Sure. Whatever you
All right,
want to
then
do.
I'll do it. All right, here we go.
Your show.
I'll start, then Jared, then you, and then I'll take us into the thing. Ready? Here we go. Here's number 1. Number 1. Coming up, Juno surfs over Jupiter.
Cassini takes a look at Saturn's rings.
All that, and Ben has an interview with Dave Dissler, an update on the EM drive.
Stay tuned. Tomorrow begins right now. You got an excited right now.
You sound like a Muppet.
Muppet! You want to do it again?
What was the first thing you said? What was the phraseology you used?
Juno surfs over Jupiter?
Yeah, did you hear it? You sounded like a Muppet.
Yeah. Juno surfs over Jupiter?
No, I don't know. It was the way, it was like...
Should we do it again?
No, it was fine. It just was funny, because you're like, Juno surfs over Jupiter! It was like, it was totally Sesame Street. Like, I don't know what happened.
Stop! Juno surfs Jupiter!
Can I snack now?
Ben turned into Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, right? 1 was fine? Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, snack time.
Yay.
Wait, Vax is moonlighting over at Orbital Mechanics.
Oh, like that's surprising.
All right, Dave.
Let's be fair.
Do we still have Dave?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm here.
All right, we've got some additional questions.
Some is the operative word there.
Hang on, let's see. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this.
So
but
many.
I have.
You guys have so many questions.
I have this many.
I have so many questions.
This many questions.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's start at the top, and this comes from Fit Orion. The question is, do you have thoughts on China's claim to have a working one on their space station? In other words, do you think they actually have one up there, or are they just being like, oh no, we put one up there?
I mean,
just kind of like the Russians found Antarctica first, or whatever. I think there's a good likelihood that they have taken it up there. What they've done with it, I don't know, but I think they probably have taken one up there. The original person that did that was Yang, Dr. Yang, and now it's gone to a Dr. Chu, and they took over after Yang kind of went away. And I think they're probably they probably took one up there, and I think they probably did test it out. What the results are, that's going to be hard to say, but I think they took one up there.
All right. The next question comes from Citizen Big Number, and Citizen Big Number asks, "Are you a pure experimentalist? In other words, do you measure what happens and then figure out the theory later?"
I would say I'm more, more of an experimentalist, more of an engineer, because I was, I read about this and I said, "There's no way. I mean, it's just not going to happen." So, and I kept on reading all these theories, some of them very wild, and I said, "There's one way to find out." So I guess I'm more of a, oh yeah, let's see what happens, and I put it together and tested it, and yeah, it does work. Why exactly it does, I'm not a theory first person. I'm more of an engineering type guy, experimentalist.
So then Kay McCoy asks, what other effects could be causing this movement? What if it is something that's Earth-based?
Well, then it'd be useless for space flight. If it's something that's interacting, and that's why it's important, to get that out of the way. Test it at LEO, test it at GEO, get it off of the planet. The biggest obstacle to it is the mechanical torsion beam test, or the test stand that you have. That's the biggest obstacle to really knowing for sure. Anything mechanical is going to be prone to error. Get it up into free space, out in microgravity, and let's see what happens with it.
Lur asks, do you have access to a vacuum chamber to run some tests with the unit?
No, I do not. But the cavity is now in the hands of people who do have a vacuum chamber, so that's good news for me.
So Johnny Spacer also asked about China's claims, which I think you answered. Belsari has more of a comment than a question, which is, I for one never expect the universe to stop sticking us impossible questions. I hope not, it would be so boring. That was basically, I hope we constantly have these things that make us scratch our head, because it makes things fun, right? We don't have all the answers. We don't know everything.
That's where I've always been. Everybody has a little different personality type. I think my personality type is, I'm really wanting to go where, I'm not going to say where no one has gone before. No, I'm not going to say that. Star Trek reference, but I just want to try something new. That's really what it is. That's what excites me, gets me passionate about science and experiments and so forth. Is try something new, do the research on it. If you think there's a possibility, go try it. That's what I think is cool.
Jazz Throat asks, if we can't explain it with traditional physics, could it be interacting with black matter?
Black matter, or dark energy, or dark matter, I guess is another way to put that. There's a big controversy about that going on right now. In fact, when you read some of the papers that Professor McCulloch had put together at Plymouth, his theory with Unruh radiation and the Rindler horizon, I believe, it basically does away with the need for dark matter and dark energy. So there are people who are arguing against it because they've been trying to prove it for a long time, trying to indirectly or directly measure it. They're indirectly measuring it by the movement of the galaxies and so forth, and the expansion of the galaxies. But Professor Mike came up with another possibility I think needs to be really, really looked at.
All right. Do you know what the possibility is if it's not dark energy, or if in the universe? Because Jared, you just did a thing on this, right? Jared's gone. Jared, you just did a space pod on dark
Yes.
matter, right?
Yes, I did.
So if you're actually saying above and beyond, maybe it's not interacting with dark matter. Maybe dark matter is not a thing at all, right? So
that's what one of the theorists think, is dark matter is not the movement of the galaxies. The University of Plymouth in the UK, Mike McCulloch, and I think Mike spells his name, last name McCulloch, and the name of the theory is MIHSC. And Professor Mike is trying to organize the world's first M Drive conference in England, which I'm going to try to attend if I can do it. But his theory of MHSC does not require dark energy or dark matter for the movement of the galaxy. He's the expert on it, by the way. But.
Yeah. All right.
I can never escape dark matter.
You will never.
I will never escape dark matter chasing me, haunting me for the rest of my life.
Welcome to the observation.
I only notice it in the bright sunlight on it, shadow.
All right. Warp 11 asks, so what are the main things pointing at it not being real right now? Is there anything that makes it look like, all right, this mostly looks like it's a thing, but this one thing stands out? It's like, maybe not.
The closest thing that I can think of is with all with all the time that the boys down at Johnson Space Center did with EagleWorks. I think some of the open questions they have is there any imbalance caused by thermal expansion? I guess is the number one. That's probably the leading one. And of course, there again, this is all based upon sea level testing, the mechanical apparatus to be able to measure, and all the more reason to. There's been enough people measure this force right now. Let's get rid of the footballs in space and put up a little small M drive and have it fly around the ISS and see what happens.
To be fair, I think the M drive will be slightly heavier than the football.
Yeah, that's a bad analogy, but hey, I got to try.
Smash Or asks, have you made any control experiments of any kind, different shapes?
I did not do a different. The best thing I think to do is to make a cavity as close as you can to the frustum, but not have it shaped as a frustum, but a cylindrical cavity. And I just didn't do that because of cost and so forth. But yes, the control. That's a good question because EagleWorks, what they did was they used a dummy load. It was not another cavity; it was just a dummy load. So part of the lab testing, I think, that's going to be done with the people I was in contact with is I think they're going to put a regular cavity that's cylindrical and symmetrical and use that as a control. That's a good point.
How many times did you, this comes from Kay McCoy again, how many times did you repeat the experiment and how closely did you replicate the results each time?
The first, I did quite a few replications on the first go around, was on 1701. And then on the reason I didn't write up a test report on 1701A is, and I'll explain what happened, but I couldn't keep a magnetron alive. When you tightened up the Q on the cavity, which is a much higher Q cavity, a magnetron's frequency drifts all over the place. And what was happening most of the time with that magnetron, it was outside the passband of that cavity. So it was reflecting all that power, that RF power, back into the magnetron, which would burn it out. So I probably didn't get more than, I'd say 6 or 7 different runs on 1701A. And I didn't think that was enough for me really to, basically state what I observed as 18.4 as the best one. I got close to it on the second or third run. And then the magnetron went away, and I said, you know what, this needs to go to solid state. Magnetron is just not the way to do it. So the advantage of a lower Q is you can use a magnetron. When you start getting a higher Q, you need much better frequency control of it. You need to stick it right there in the resonance spot. Otherwise, you're going to reflect a bunch of power, going to burn up your magnetron, and you're out a bunch of money and time.
Dutta asks, how long are you observing this thrust for us for each run?
Well, that's a good question. It varies. Sometimes it pulses on for a few seconds. Sometimes it's on solid for a full minute or two. The videos, if you go to the YouTube channel, 1701A Space M Drive, and do a search on that, you can see the different charts that I've got on there and the different amounts of time that the magnetron was on. But it's varying from 100% down to 30% of time actually generating the signal.
Osen asks, are there any other state-funded agencies working on it?
Good question. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think there is. There's people talking about it. There is people talking about it at the university levels, but no one has stepped forward and said, "Yeah, we're doing this." I think with a peer review paper, it's got to get people's attention and say, "Look, if these 5 peer review, normally there's like 2 peer reviewers, I think, on the panel. If there's 5, there was 5 on this one." And if there's 5 of them that say, these were sound tests and so forth, I think that'll open the door. That's why peer review is important, because it does give it a higher level of credibility, gets other people involved.
Sarge Enzyme asks, could you build a smaller one on a CubeSat? And I think you kind of said there is already a CubeSat version, but it's the entire CubeSat, though, right? I mean, it's just the engine.
Right. It takes up the entire CubeSat. Go on hackaday.io and search for MDrive, EMDRIVE, and you'll find Paul Kosila's design on Hackaday. And he just posted an update a few days ago, as a matter of fact, on his project. But yeah, it's a CubeSat size.
Citizen Big Number again asks, what would the payload be to send an MDrive plus support equipment? So we keep talking about the football, don't send a football, but what's a realistic payload up there?
Well, if you're doing just LEO testing, I don't even think you need solar panels. I think what you really need at the first step is maybe just some LiPo batteries, some rechargeable batteries, charge the thing up and let the thing go, see what it does for the very first step. So the payload itself wouldn't necessarily be anything more than a simple transponder, and the generator that's firing this into the MDrive. I wouldn't reach too high for an elaborate mission, to the stars just yet. Do the experiments in LEO, maybe even do them inside the ISS. But actually, the ideal situation is take that air out of it, which would be the movement of the air around, put it outside, and hook a little transponder up to it and see if it moves.
On a giant wooden stick. Put it outside a giant wooden stick.
MDrive on it. MDrive on a stick.
MDriveOnAstick.com. MDriveOnAstick.com. That's a thing. That's a thing now. I want to see one of the citizens of tomorrow creating a bad Photoshop, an MS Paint of International Space Station with an MDrive on a stick. All right. Yeah. Warp 11 asks, would a CubeSat produce enough power with its small solar panels to power an MDrive?
A CubeSat would not. No, you need for the one I had built. It's just for the RF power. It's about 1 kilowatt worth of electric energy to generate 750 watts of output. So no, you would need solar. You would really need solar panels if you use my design. Now, on Paul's, where he's got that CubeSat design, it takes much lower power, and I think he's got a small solar array. It might just be the external surface of the CubeSat, might be the solar cells that are powering it.
Sir Gamelot asks, so is it several orders of magnitude above Ion Drive for equal power?
It's above. So there are some. That's a really good question, because I did read that they were getting some additional thrust up into the several dozen millinewtons of force out of the ion thrusters. So I guess I might be a little outdated on that, but initially, yes, it's more power than an ion. But I think some of the thrusters they're coming up with right now, the advanced ion thrusters, I think are actually pushing closer to like 100 millinewtons, if I'm not mistaken. But the big advantage is you don't have to run out of fuel. Just keep the electricity flowing, and your MDrive keeps going.
The other issue with ion thrusters is that's the other franchise. The Star Trek franchise, I don't believe, uses ion thrusters. Ion's all Star Wars, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There are ion thrusters in Star Wars, but I don't think there are in Star Trek.
There are in Star Trek.
Oh, where are the ion thrusters? Okay, we'll get back into that in a minute. In the original series had ion thrusters?
I thought they used ion cannons.
Spacecraft that had ion engines.
I'm getting schooled on Star Trek. from the background. This is amazing. All right. Citizen Big Number once again asks, do you think that once you figure out the EM drive theory, although you're not really working on the theory side of it, you're working on the engineering side of it, but once someone figures out the M drive theory, you'll be able to design more efficient drives?
Absolutely. That's the key right now. I think people could kind of take guesses, educated guesses from an engineering standpoint on what's going to make the thing work. Obviously, increasing the Q, increasing the RF power into it, even maybe playing around with the actual shape. What is the diameter of one side versus the other? All that kind of stuff could be played around with from an engineering standpoint. But the big leap is going to come when they understand the mechanism of what makes it work. That's when I think it can really, really take off. And you start talking about getting a kilonewton of power out of this thing. I don't know that it's ever going to be that high. It may be a newton out of it, 1 newton per kilowatt, several kilonewtons. I think is way, way too much. There's people talking about flying cars right now. I don't know if you know that or not, but I don't know. I don't see it, but I'm just an engineer, so what do I know, right?
Wait, talking about flying cars, like we've been talking about flying cars since like the 50s.
We have, and everybody has been trying to implement them with these, what was that called? The Avro car. Yeah, the Avro car looked like a flying saucer that had these big turbine fans in there that spun around. In fact, I just saw one advertised on a web somewhere about, it's got 4 of these fan engines facing straight down, and then it's got vectored thrust going out, to push it forward and back. But yeah, we're still talking about propellers here, so.
Nah. Harabek asks, doesn't NASA have a massive vacuum chamber? Would it help to test it there? Well, but NASA's doing their own tests. I mean, you don't need to test. Although maybe you do. I mean, their tests are coming up with substantially less power than yours, so maybe.
Interesting story about that. I got a little bit of inside scoop on it. They were wanting to take it up to Glen, or what was it called? Plum. What is it? Plum River, I guess. Part of the Glen facility up here in Ohio. And that's the big vacuum. That's the world's largest vacuum chamber. Well, the price went up substantially, I guess, from the first bid. So they used a smaller chamber down at Johnson Space Center as opposed to them being able to get up to NASA Glen's facility at Plum Station, it might be the name of it, but it's the world's largest vacuum chamber. There's one of those cars. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, so that's a ridiculous car, but I also want to fly it. It's both absolutely ridiculous / I want one.
Mm-hmm. That could be something quite interesting. In fact, no, I'm not going to design one. I don't think I've got the skill for that.
Well, I would like to fly it to work because I live in Anaheim and I work in Hawthorne, and it's about a 45-minute drive. But if I could just go up and over, there's an airport right next to where I work. I just right down at the airport and call it a day. So I'm sorry. So the price tag went up on the vacuum chamber.
Yeah, it went up on the rent for the full-blown chamber, and so they just said, okay, well, we'll do it down here, and they did it locally at the smaller facility, or the smaller vacuum chamber down at Johnson.
But what about why not yours? Right, that wasn't yours, right? That was the NASA M drive that they put in the vacuum chamber.
That's the NASA M drive, yes.
I mean, the NASA M drive is not getting as much power as yours. Would they be interested in sticking yours into a vacuum chamber, or are they like, well, we did it with ours, who cares at this point?
They're kind of on their own mission. One of the problems that, I am good friends with one of the guys that was on the team who has since retired, and I got a little bit of an idea about really how that works. It's a very closed and very I don't want to say can't really describe the term for it, but it's not something that they just will go off and entertain. They've got a plan of action. A lot of it is not releasing it because they didn't make a lot of PR noise about it themselves. Where the thing got released at is in the AIAA journal. So that's how it got to the outside world. So I don't really think that I could have gone to them and say, hey, I've got one, because they got one from Scheuer, they got one from Canet. They were working on another propulsion device from a guy by the name of Jim Woodward out in California, a professor out in California. So they've been there and done that. Now I think they're just going to take, they took the winner, what they felt was the winner, which was Scheuer's design their own, and then are going to take it and pursue it themselves.
Heldesk is confirming, I believe it's the Plum Brook facility.
Plum Brook, I couldn't think of it, yes, exactly.
Furkeep asks, has the new paper helped improving the home project of M-Drive?
Well, yeah, the new paper from NASA lays out how you should put out a good paper and be very cognizant of all the mechanical issues that could come up while you're measuring it at sea level. I thought that was very, very helpful. As far as the technical design of the M-Drive itself, it was okay, but it really wasn't designed for that. It wasn't designed as an expose or a blueprint on how to build one of these things. It was basically what they did and how they did it and why they think they measured thrust, this anomalous force. So I guess depending on how you're looking at it, it isn't a roadmap to building one. And we don't recommend people go out and build one that don't have the experience anyway. So, but it does help builders that they're actually going to do this themselves, got the experience to really know what to look for, what are all the error sources and everything. So yeah, it was very helpful.
Yeah, and that's another reminder, since After Dark is posted independently of the main show. Don't go home and try to build an M-Drive yourself. That's a bad idea. You could very badly hurt yourself. Don't try to build an M-Drive at home. Just like you wouldn't build a rocket,
Absolutely,
a full-scale rocket at home. You don't want to build an M-Drive at home. All right, actually, check this out. We purged through. Not that you can really see, but all right, this camera. There you go. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Most of them are gone. I got two left, it looks like. One is from Warp 11. It asks, could it be the Earth's magnetic field, I assume, in relation to what could be causing some of this reaction?
That's a very good point. There is a Lorentz force that could possibly be at play, and taking it further out off of sea level is one way to eliminate that. So yeah, that's it's very difficult to shield from the Earth's magnetic field, so it doesn't get in anywhere. In fact, the copper cavity lets magnetic fields in and out all the time. So it is possible. So that is one of the things that it could be interacting with, and that's why the other two locales that I was suggesting be tested. So yeah, let's get it off the Earth and get it away from the Earth's magnetic field. See what happens.
Green Jim 2 asks, maybe it's the Google M-Drive prize time, maybe. Get some prize money going.
Well, I have been waiting for someone to put up a, what is it, Buzz is going around, Get Your Ass to Mars?
Yeah.
I am suggesting we do Get Your Ass to Alpha Centauri, Get Your Ass to Alpha Cen. And have a little contest. After we do the Google or the Lunar X Prize, let's do the Alpha Centauri Prize. Let's think when we're talking about getting to Mars. I think that's great, but I like to see things. There's a lot more beyond Mars, I think, that we really need to get to. So,
how long would it take to get to that? Let's say you got an M-Drive going. You turn it on. I guess it depends on your mass too, but. So what's your best case scenario, right? So let's just say you got a very large spaceship and a very large M-Drive. How quickly could we get places?
You could get to. Let's say I ran that once. If I was assuming a constant acceleration with a relatively low mass, and I think it was on the. Range of 65 or 75 years. That's including a midway flip and slowing down. So if you want to put some fudge factors in there, rather than many, many centuries, or whatever the speed of Voyager is at right now, which is probably how much 70,000 years to get to an Alpha Centauri distance. This could do it in about a century. I think it's probably safe to say if the M drive is proven and scalable, you can get there within 100 years.
Why Star Trek? Did I lose you? Why Star Trek? Where's the Star Trek side of it come from?
I missed a part of your question.
Oh.
You asked me a question after.
Yeah. No, I'm just why? Where's the Star Trek love come from? Is there a story behind that? Just grew up with Star Trek and thought it was neat, or is it? Did it have a moment in your life?
Yeah, 11 years old, and I turned on TV, and I got tired of watching Lawrence Welk with my parents, so I turned on TV one time, and I saw this show called Star Trek, and I go, "What's this all about?" And that kind of brought out the geek in me, and I really followed the original series, through its run, and then waited for years, and then I think I may have been the first one in line for the first movie that he came back with. But it was just it's just the thought of, and the way you described about how much more there is than what we have right here. We've got a lot right here, obviously, but there's a lot more out there, a lot more discovery. It's a goal. It's a real high bar to set, and we should be striving for something like that. Now, just like they did when they launched the first ship to go across the Atlantic. Let's look outward.
All right, awesome. I think we've purged through all of the questions, unless. Chat room, do you have any more while we've got Dave on the line? Johnny Spacer says, I used to stay up late on Sunday to watch reruns of Star Trek. So I assume you're an original series fan, like that would be your favorite? Okay, yeah. I grew up with Next Gen, so that one's mine, but yeah.
It was the original series. I don't think I've got them all memorized. In fact, it was about 10 years ago when I actually found an episode that I had never seen before, which I was shocked. I found out why, because it was a horrible episode. They just didn't run it that much. But yeah, I've seen all the original episodes many, many times, but they stuck with me when I was a kid. I remember them sticking with me then. And that's what got me looking up. I had to go out and get a telescope and see if there was any Starship Enterprises flying around, that kind of stuff. So
Citizen Big Number asked, Spock, Kirk, or Scotty?
Kirk, I'd have to say his swashbuckling, he's got everything under control type of thing. Of course, I like Spock's logic. Those two are kind of tied, but I would have to give the nod to Kirk.
I actually thought you were going to go for Scotty for a moment, go for the engineer.
Well, that's a good point too. But I kind of identified with the man with a plan, the guy that was keeping everything under control and within this universe. His character was so dominant in all the scenes. I think that has a lot to do with it. That's the one you remember a lot. I'd have to say good old Bill Shatner would have to be my favorite there.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Star Trek fan as well. So, all right, Dave, I think that's it. We're winding down. Unless there's anything else from the control room.
I think we're good.
All right. On that note, thank you again for staying for After Dark, for taking time out of your Sunday, and not only that, for actually working on the M drive. I think.
Or your Saturday.
Or did I say Sunday? I meant Saturday.
You said
Whatever.
Sunday.
Oh, hush up, control room. I don't know why I gave you.
Look, you asked if there was anything else.
Thank you.
By the way, I forgot to congratulate you guys on your studio. I meant to do that, when we were broadcasting. But man, does it look good! I've been noticing that that's quite a starship you've got there. Have you named it yet, or?
The SS Dutta. I don't. I cannot tell you how much time Dutta has been here building this thing. And it's huge too. It's what is the distance between these two sides of the wall? It's 25 feet.
Yeah, it's like 23 feet of stage.
It's large.
23 by like 18, I think.
Yeah, they're not even showing like half of it right there. I feel like.
Scale. Yeah, I wish.
It's real,
See if I can.
It's impressive, yeah.
Yeah, I thank you very much. I can't really, right? But oops. Ruining the illusion. Ruining the illusion.
Here comes the Dutta for scale.
Yeah, do a three.
Dada's not in a
Maybe you can do a
spacesuit.
360 to
Dada.
show me how big it was.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the really hard things has been figuring out the lighting on the set. And you'll notice that it's brighter over here, but not over here. We need to order some smaller lights for that. But trying to not ruin the illusion by casting shadows on the planet, because that wouldn't happen.
No, I don't think it would. I don't think that would be. But hey, you know, one thing I did miss. I did miss my favorite 2D host.
Oh, Mike.
You know,
yeah.
My favorite 2D host wasn't there today, so I enjoy him. He had a really cool little studio backdrop on him. Now he's just kind of going with a regular. He's going to have to be in some sort of transporter room or something. He's got to get some backdrop.
Well, I don't know. I like the because it's black. He just kind of like blends in, and it's amazing looking at the comments in YouTube and people going, "It took me 5 minutes to realize he wasn't in studio." I enjoy that a little bit. But yeah. We're still working stuff out. I can ruin the illusion again if I go this direction. Hang on, you can see the parts that are not complete yet. So yeah, there's still a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done here. There are stars that need to go back there, a bunch of other fun things. But yeah, I appreciate that. We're putting out quite a bit of work, TLC into this, and trying to make it really something awesome. The best thing that I absolutely love is Dutta is a Star Wars fan, and he inadvertently built the bridge of the the Enterprise. The bridge of the Star Trek. Jesus.
Oh, really?
Wow.
What the?
Do you even word?
He built. That's on our shirt. That's the episode shirt for this week. He built the bridge of the Star Trek.
Jeez.
But no, this has a very Enterprise-esque feel to it with the giant kind of view window screen thing. We just need the lights on the bottom. They go bloop 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 bloop. So
Yeah, and those little the little dome lenses they used to have on the old switches and everything like that.
Oh, yes,
I think
yes.
you need to and use authentic incandescent lamps underneath it that don't go out instantly. I think all that would be kind of really that'd be pretty cool.
I need one of those the lamps with the arm on it, like right here, that I can just kind of move and position around. Yeah, one of those. Actually, have you seen J.J. Abrams' reinvention of the original series of Star Trek? Not the original series, but with Kirk and
Yes,
whatnot.
I have.
What did you think of that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I thought it was definitely it was cool. Of course, the cinematography and the storyline is kind of it goes in more of a Fast and Furious mode. Style of film. I mean, you gotta hold on to your seat. So it's a totally different style, but it's still talking about the thing I'm interested in is the space travel and the technology and everything. It's just done. It's on steroids compared to what the original one was. And I can imagine that that's what you need. The millennials nowadays, they need things, fast information. It's geared more toward them than us old geezers like me. I think he's done a pretty good job so far. The storyline, I don't know. I hated to see the old storyline go into a parallel universe thing, but not my decision. But.
I love the look of their bridge, of the Enterprise bridge, and the new. What are we looking at now? What's that?
Oh
yeah. That's
it's
the Abrams bridge. Yeah,
that is the Abrams bridge. Yes,
yeah, I
it is.
really like the Abrams bridge.
That's what I didn't build you.
You're looking. No, you did. You're looking the wrong direction. You have to look the opposite direction of that, and that's what you built right over here, whether you realize it or not.
Hang on, I've got a live view of the opposite direction. Hold on.
All right. On that note, Dutta. Man. All right, Dave, I think that's it. I think we're done for the day. Thank you again so much for taking time out of your Saturday to help us out. I really appreciate it.
You were going to ask about stars.
Good luck, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Dave. You were going to ask patrons about stars.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask patrons. What was I going to ask them about stars? Oh, patrons. I have a question for you. So, patrons. dear patrons, we're thinking of, how do I want to word this? Okay, so this, let me roll non-Dave out of the shot. Okay. Yeah, I know. All right, so allow me to introduce you to the set. This area over here is in need of stars. Hello. Wow, it is really dark over here. So we need to put stars back there. Oh, can you turn them on? This is going to be cool. So we need to buy some stars. Oh, he has to hook them up. This is going to be the awkward part where you see a Dutta flying back there. We're trying to decide, oh, hey, I lost connection. So I can ask them, that's because I fell offline, question mark? We're trying to understand if we should, or decide if we should, for every star, like allow someone to buy a star, right? One of those stupid little like, you can own a planet, part of a planet thing, right? Except that you would actually, like each one of those stars, you spend like, what'd you decide, Dutta, like $5 or something like that? $5, and then you own that one star and that one location, over there. And that's kind of what they look like. They're all going to be on like dimmers and color things and stuff and things. Or the thing is, so I'm not opposed to that, but I feel like we ask for money every week and we've got this patronage thing going on already. Should we instead roll a star out for everyone who's at the $5 and above Patreon level, right? So if you're already contributing, you get a star. And if you become a $5 patron, you get a star. And then the difference being, if we make it so that it's a one-time purchase, make it a one-time purchase, you'd be able to like on the backboard actually write whose name it is, right?
You can submit a dedication and we'll print it out on a little thing and stick it to the back of it and stick it to the wall.
Right. Now, you would never be able to see that. So if you couldn't hear Dutta, you could dedicate the star, you could name it after yourself, you could dedicate it to someone, whatever. You have like a few characters that you can dedicate it to. They go on the backboard for the thing that we're putting up there, attached to the wall. You'd never be able to see it on camera, but it would be a part of the set. That's if we do the one-time thing, and we'd have to do it in advance before we put the thing up on the wall. So this would be a one-time, we do a run, we say, hey, we've got however many it is, we'll say 500 stars, you can get $5. There you go. Or instead of that, for every patron that's at $5, you get a star, and we'd have to like highlight which one your star is. You wouldn't necessarily be able to dedicate it because it's already attached to the wall. So there you go. Those are our options. Oh yeah, and actually, that's the other thing is, yes, you would be able to choose your star color. There are 5 colors to choose from. Is that correct? Yeah, there are 5 colors you get to choose from. Only 5 though, because we have to. They're stuff and things. Things. Oh my God, that would actually be hilarious. Have like a Star Trek scrolling list of patrons in the background, constantly going. Someone said Helldesk understands the internet. I'm like, well, what did Helldesk say? Helldesk said, what if patrons draw dicks in the starfield with the points of light? That is something the internet would do, but I don't think it's really something that our show would do. Actually, the stars will vary in intensity. You would not get to choose the intensity of your particular star, though. So, any good things?
I wasn't listening to you. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Like, none. Something about stars. That's all I got.
Stars. I'm a star.
No, you're not.
I shine bright like a diamond.
No.
Bright like a diamond? Bright like a diamond.
No.
There's a star. There's a
Thanks.
star. Another star. Another star.
So,
Star.
Jimmy.
Star.
was like tuned in right as I ran in front of the camera to get the chair. Mm-hmm. And so he messages me and is like, I tuned in right as all I saw was like this blur of boobs. I was like,
Can I make that your title?
Sure.
Blur of boobs?
It's better than Capcom Carrie Ann.
Blur of boobs is better than Capcom Carry-On because if I remember, which, only 10% chance.
It's fine.
I would create a banner that says blur of boobs.
I know you would, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you did steal my soapbox. Although, there are smaller soapboxes still, right? Or
Yeah.
did you put them all inside?
They're inside.
No, they're not inside anymore, are they? Are they inside?
Yeah, they were. I put them inside.
Oh, I'm gonna actually.
I know what's happening. Why are you deferring to him?
Because.
Got the two small ones in it.
Oh, Tartar's House says, not dicks, just badly drawn face rockets. That's funny.
It's about right.
Actually, I'm wondering if. So before we go off air, really quick, HB1, I need your help. Did we mark the chair? We did not. Do we have some tape?
Probably.
There should be tape under the chair
Yeah,
legs.
this hold a person's weight. Yeah, it's MDF.
There are not, but
Hold,
I can just
no,
drop
we
it.
moved them a while ago. Sorry, because they were showing on camera.
These are 3M chair markings. All right. I'd like to move the couch in because I think I want to do comments out here instead. The question
You
then
want us
becomes,
sitting on the couch?
yes, maybe, but then the question becomes, how do we get Mike in the shot?
Well,
Or
You roll him in sideways. Right in front of the couch so it looks like he's laying down. Just have him stand
I'm
like
laying
this.
down on this, I'm
we
lounging on
do
the
have
couch.
extra chairs. I just didn't feel like bringing it over. It was like I had the mic pack and the
All right.
the
Need your
other
help.
pack in my hand. And, oh my god!
This would just take a second. What time's
I
our,
know.
what
Shay,
time's
you
our
want me to move
appointment?
this?
Yeah, if you can. I'm too weak to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Also, that's actually really,
That was so patronizing. It was awesome.
that is a really good use for that.
Thanks. I did that all by myself.
Yeah.
Dada, I don't have my earpiece in, so I'm sure you said something very intelligent, but
Dada
I don't
said
know
how
what it was.
amazing you are.
Yeah, I am.
She was smart. She bent with her knees. I don't do that. That's why I have back problems.
Yeah,
It is amazing
I
how
lift
heavy
a lot of crap for work.
All right. Oh, my back. All right, somewhere like here.
Sure. That looks fantastic.
What? Yeah, maybe.
Is that what you mean?
I mean, it is
Sure,
the.
Jared. The three of us aren't going to fit on this stupid couch.
Well, we can get under the couch. It's not going to fit in the frame.
That doesn't make any sense.
Just roll the other mic screen in here.
Oh god,
Yeah, pretend like you like me.
I don't really want to.
But I mean, pretend like you like me.
The after dark couch. Gross. Don't do that. No, really. For the show, you're not going to do that. Sit normal. What's wrong with you?
I am sitting normal.
No, you're not. You're all like leaning backy and crap. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with you. This
All right.
couch only fits me. Like, look,
It does fit you.
couch and a love seat.
Rejected? We're rejecting the couch? What?
I feel
What was
fat.
that?
No.
Oh my God, husband gross.
Yeah, where's Jared's pooping?
Hey,
Jared!
Stop pooping. Come here.
God, this is how you know we've been married too long. Sit.
Okay.
I mean, we'd have to fix the lights.
See?
He's just like plop. There's no Jared face. Right, we'd fix the lights. I get it. Yeah. But I mean, we could do comments like this.
Can we?
Sure. Wait, and then we would need to find a way for Space Mike to rotate his screen. Ow.
Oh.
You're making it far more complicated than it needs to be.
Or he can just
Are we still live?
That's what I do, Dada.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the easier way to do
They're
it?
still talking to us about things. Don't swear, you're on the air.
Well, it's after dark.
Yeah, well, this is like after.
Yeah, but I
after
didn't put
dark
up a
at this
carry-on
point.
notification.
Your mic's not on either.
Yeah, and
My mic is on. Oh, Jared's?
Jared.
I don't
Jared,
think Jared
your
has
mic
anything.
is
No, I
not
took mine
on.
off.
He
I
took-
took
yeah,
all my
he-
stuff off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, doesn't Mike flip his screen to be in the other room so he could just flip it back to the other room?
Well,
The
you mean his
camera?
camera?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know how. Well, I mean, it can be. It depends on his tripod mount.
Yeah, but then he's setting the shot, resetting his shot every time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Roll him in here from the other room.
There's not enough cable for that.
They're just, yeah, you just can't.
Well, we could just unplug it and plug in the other TV.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Donna's on board 100% with this. I think that this is a better place to do comments. The observation lounge of 201 is a better place to do comments than the news placey place,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds good.
No.
It just has to be lit better.
This is, I mean.
So
sure,
are you
whatever.
gonna do 2 lighting setups? Are you gonna
No.
change your lights to
Change the
be
lights, yes.
for that, and then you've got to redo it for
Yeah, I grab a ladder
interview?
every show. No. We'd figure out how to light this correctly with the. Actually, in fact, one could argue that instead of the chairs, I just leave the couch out here, even for the interview, and then we just swap in the appropriate screen.
So you can be all Ronery when you're doing an interview.
Ronery. No, we'd.
Oh, Lord.
All right. What is the chat
And-
room saying? Is the chat room thinking that I'm crazy?
And are you going to be having a conversation with somebody else on the same couch when you have a live studio guest?
Well, I mean, we'd be making out.
I missed that. What are we making out over?
I don't know. You and I are unplugged.
No, I would not. And in
Why is
fact-
our calendar now empty?
What did you do to the calendar?
You said you wanted to make out with people. Everybody just canceled.
I didn't track.
Ours is where
I
is
didn't
it?
track.
It's at a wedding.
There you go.
Going to the chapel.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of no couch. We also have a no couch.
Well, no coich does make sense.
I'm not for a coach.
It's been nice knowing you.
All right, so some people, I think the,
Ben is too big.
what if instead of this couch, it were like kind of a white arcing couch?
So then you're going to do your interview on that couch as well, because we're sure as F are not moving a gigantic couch every time.
Yes, that would be the idea. And the other advantage of that is if we lit the couch properly, we could bring on several guests, either in person or potentially drop more than one screen around it for the guest.
A fainting couch.
If I'm gonna get a desk and a chair like Johnny Carson, we need to get a bunch of plants behind me.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
You kill
Oh,
plants.
they be plastic. You don't have to worry about that.
No, we're
It's fine.
for you.
A fuel tank couch. That's funny. White wraparound couch would be acceptable. Put wheels on the couch. No, they're just.
See, there
This
is
set is 3/4 of this room. Like
there
I'm
isn't
not
there isn't
moving
room
a
to store
couch.
there isn't room to store things elsewhere. So moving them on or off set is not a thing.
Yeah, I agree. We don't want to strike this set every single
That would just
segment.
be such a
But-
bunch of crap.
Striking the set, moving the set, changing chairs, blah blah blah.
No, I don't wanna
lights,
do
all
that.
all of that, none of that makes sense to me.
No, my plan was if we move the couch in here, then the couch stays here, and I would use this for the interview and for After Dark, and we just pull everyone in here for After Dark. I feel like this set is a better set to use for After Dark. Or is that not a fair statement?
Are
Is
you-
it?
so you're driving your set decision making by After Dark and not the show?
I'm sorry, not After Dark. Comments. I meant comments.
Doesn't matter.
Just do a table with like 3 chairs around it, so that then when you're interviewing the person on the screen, you're in that chair, and then when other people come in, they sit into those chairs, and then you just move the camera.
I don't want a table for the interview set. I mean, maybe. Actually, basically, the
I
little.
was thinking sitting in chairs, people sometimes get a little self-conscious of their midsection.
Yeah, we want that opened up. We want that opened up. We don't want it to be like this. It shouldn't be a covering shot. All right, we're done. I have data.
This couch is actually quite comfortable. Johnny Spacer, I don't know what on earth you're trying to say, because all of the things you're saying besides weight don't actually seem to make any sense to me. But there's that.
I think we're done.
People are posting links.
Go for bunk beds.
We do just need the levitating couch.
There's a levitating couch?
Yeah, from Anti-Mame. Levitating seats.
Dr. Evil.
That's a movie I've seen more than once. See?
Yeah, I want that one.
Yeah, it's awesome. Chris,
All right, we're done.
Okay.
Bye, kids. See you next week.